Hi, this is Dr. Bharadwaj. I am CEO and Homeopathy Doctor at Fidicus Homeopathy. Today we will discuss on one of the important topics related to autism. You know that autism has different pathologies. What I mean by pathology is what are the changes that occurs in the brain of a kid in autism. Autism is a spectrum. So no two child will have same type of pathology. Basically pathology means what are all the changes that you can see in the brain of a autism kid compared to a normal kid. That is pathology. Whether it is different in structure, different in function, different in physiology, what are all the biological basis for autism? So there are a lot of biological basis. You know, autism is a spectrum. There will be different reasons for autism, different symptoms of autism, and also there will be different pathologies for autism. One of the pathologies is defective neuronal migration. What I mean by defective neuronal migration is, so when you are in your mother's womb, okay, the neurons or the brain cells will originate at one place and they move to other place in the brain and they establish the connections. This is known as neuronal migration. This will occur from the age of 1.5 months to 9 months. This is completed at 9 months. Any problem in migration of the neurons has to migrate at one place and they have to go to different place and they have to establish the connections there. Any problem in migration can lead to autism. Now we will look deep into it. We will see the videos how the neurons are migrating, what happens, how many types of migration is there, what happens when there is a wrong migration or defective migration in the neurons. So you have to remember there are different pathologies for autism. One of the pathologies or one of the subsets, some subset of kids will have this defect. Not all will have. Some will have mitochondrial problems, some will have neuronal migration, some will have connection problems. There are a lot of problems. One of the problem is for autism kids, some subset of kids will experience this defect in migration of the neurons. Now we will look deeply into the videos and the animations, what exactly happens in the brain of a autism kid in the board. Yeah, defective neuronal migration causes autism. Before we dive deep into this topic, there are some other things you need to understand about the brain. Let's go into that. You can see this is a simple question for you. What is the one thing that makes human beings different from other animals? Is it the muscles? Is it the bones? Or is it the respiratory system? Is it the nervous system? What exactly that is different from human beings? So for example, if you take a rat and human being, you have similar type of muscles, okay, almost similar. And if you take any other animal and compare any other part, it is almost similar to human being, but one part is drastically different between animals and human beings, that we known as cerebral cortex. See, this green part is a part of the brain. This is the cerebral cortex. You see the complete brain, and this is a green one is the cerebral cortex of a rat like an animal. Okay, see how small it is. Rest of the structures are same. So we call it as a brainstem. Brainstem is common for human beings, is common for primates, I mean monkeys, and also human beings. All these things are same. And compare the brain of primate or any monkey like animal. This is rat, this is monkey. In monkey it is developed compared to rat. Observe in human beings, it is the largest in human beings. So this is the outer part of the brain known as cortex, is the main thing that differentiates human beings from other animals. Okay, not only in size, in also in function. This cerebrum or the cerebral hemisphere or the cerebral cortex is the main thing that differentiate human beings from other animals. Not only in size, in function we will check what exactly this does differently compared to other animals. You can see human brain versus animal brain. How human beings are different from animals? Physiologically and structurally, they have bigger brain or cerebrum or cerebral cortex. Now we have to understand what exactly the cerebral cortex is doing in order to understand autism. So autism is a defect in cerebral cortex. We have to understand cerebrum in depth. Okay, what are the functions of cerebrum? You will see the brain stem, right? If you take the picture, this is complete brain, and this outer part, this yellow color part is cerebral cortex, and this part is brainstem. So this is completely, we have taken this part completely here and placed here. So what is the function of brainstem? Brainstem function is Autonomous functions mean there are other functions, but main function is autonomous. So respiration, digestion, reproduction, everything is autonomous, right? There is no much difference between human beings and take any other animal. You take a rat and take a human being, it is almost similar. We respire air, they also respire. Respiration, digestion, excretion, everything is same. And coming to cerebral cortex, so this part is cerebrum, okay, this all yellow part is cerebrum. Outer part of this is known as cerebral cortex, and entirely it is known as cerebrum. What are the functions of cerebral cortex, especially outer part? So this yellow part is there, right? This outer part, what are the functions of it? The main function of cerebrum is thinking, sensation, how do we receive and process the sensation, how do we communicate, coordinate, and emotional control. Okay, how do we control emotions? That is a part of cerebrum. The outer part of cerebrum is known as cerebral cortex. What is the function of especially this outer part? That is thinking. This is a thinking that makes the difference between human being and other animals. Other animals are similar to human beings in all the ways. You take respiration, you take digestion, you take excretion, reproduction, nervous system, everything is same except for this cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex of a human being is well developed. Okay, it is well developed compared to any other animal. That's the reason we are able to think. Human being differs from other animals only in one character, that is thinking. So human being can think, other animals cannot think as efficient as human beings. That makes the human beings different from other animals. So now you understood the importance of cerebral cortex. And coming to the neuronal defects in migration, one more thing you have to understand is this is the brain. Okay, this green one inside the brain is hollow space. So when you take the brain, it is not a solid structure. In the inside of the brain there is a hollow structure known as ventricles. This is the brain, and hollow part is known as ventricles. You can see in the 3D image, this green one is hollow space within the brain, it is known as ventricles. Okay, next what happens is, how are the neurons generated? Okay, you can see here, when you are in womb, the neurons are generated along this ventricles. Okay, along this ventricles neurons are generated, and they are moved into the outer part of the cortex. They are moved into the other places. They originate here, and they from here they move and they form the connections. How it is happening? When you take the cross section of it, when you cut it like that, this is the diagram. See, this is the empty space. Okay, these are known as the ventricles. There are two types of migration that can occur. So whatever the neurons that are generated here will migrate in this way. This is known as radial migration. Radially the neurons are migrating like this. There is one more migration known as tangential migration. The neurons that are originated here, see here, okay, they move like this. Okay, they move parallel to the surface of the brain. This is known as tangential migration. Neurons that are originated here will move along the surface, which are originated here will move radially. So this is the thing, tangential migration and radial migration. Once they migrate to their places, it originates here, and once it migrates to their places, then what they does is they establish the connections. Okay, they will link different neurons and they'll establish the connections. Now we will check this in the video, how this happens in the animation. Okay, I will show you real videos as well. You can see this is the brain. Okay, and the neurons start migrating in the brain. So this is the empty hollow spaces or ventricles I have said. The orange one or the pink one in this, where the neurons are originating. Once the neurons are originating, they will move towards the periphery. So they originate here and they go and settle in the different parts of the brain. They especially settle in the outer part of the brain, that is known as cerebral cortex. See, this is the cerebral cortex. This is the thing that makes human beings different from other animals. This is the thinking part of human being. The neurons that are migrated from the hollow spaces or the ventricles, the pink one where the neurons originate, and the orange one where the neurons are moving out. You can see the neurons are originating here and they are moving out. They move here and settle along the cerebral cortex or different parts of the brain. Okay, they settle around the, and once they go into their respective places, what next happens is they will establish the connections between other neurons. Other neurons will connect, they will intricately connect, and they will exchange the signals. Once the neurons move to their original place and establish their connection, then you can say that the brain is perfect, the brain is healthy, the brain is well developed. Okay, now we will see other videos, original videos. This is a microscopic view of neurons. See, these neurons are migrating, they are not at one place, so they are migrating, they are born around the ventricles and they are migrating tangentially and also radial. This is the movement of the neurons. This is a original video under the microscope. This is the third video I want you to see. Once the neurons are reached their respective places, they connect each other. See, this is one neuron, this is one neuron, this is one neuron. They are all trying to connect and they are forming a bond where they can exchange the information in the form of nerve signal, or signal is sent from one neuron to another neuron. Once the neurons are migrated and they establish these kinds of connection, then you can say the brain is perfect, the brain is healthy, the brain is developed well. Anything that causes defect in it, okay, if the neurons are not migrating to the place they should be, it causes autism. The neurons has to originate here and migrate to the other parts of the brain. If the neurons are not migrating properly, then it causes autism. So what are the causes for neurons not migrating properly? I have made a separate video in the under the causes of autism. Among the causes of autism, this is also one of the causes of autism and one of the pathology of autism. So if your kid by any chance this neuronal development has not occurred or this neuronal migration has not occurred, then your kid will land into autism. This is one of the subsets of different subsets of pathologies you can see in the autism kid. Now coming to the homeopathic treatment can prevent the progress of autism. Once you start homeopathic treatment, it will prevent the progress of autism. In some of the cases, even homeopathy can completely cure autism, but in most of the cases, it relieves the autism. What I mean by relief is it will reduce the symptoms of autism so that kid can be on their own. Say there is no dependency on any other person. We can relieve the symptoms of autism, whatever it is, whether it is a communication defect or sensory defect or restricted repetitive behaviors. Anything can be corrected with the help of homeopathy. And how it can do? Homeopathy is safe compared to any other treatment in the world. You take Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Allopathy, homeopathy is the safest treatment. You will not have single side effect and it is very efficient. What I mean by efficient, see here is, so the success rate of homeopathy in autism is great. I'm not saying that I will completely cure every case. Some of the cases can be completely cured, but most of the cases, around 95 to 99% of the cases, we can bring good result or good improvement in the symptoms of autism kid where they can live on their own. And homeopathic treatment is timely. What I mean by timely is you can see the improvement in the symptoms quickly compared to any other system of medicines. You can see the improvement from 1 month to within 3 months. You can see very good improvement in autism. Okay, and coming to the spectrum of medicines, see, as I explained you repeatedly, autism is a spectrum disorder and it is spectrum in many aspects. Causes of autism, it is a spectrum, it is not one single cause. Or symptoms of autism, there are thousands of symptoms but can be categorized into three categories. There are thousands of symptoms, it is also a spectrum. Even the pathology of autism, it can be migraine, it can be neuronal migration defect or mitochondrial defect or reduced oxytocin, reduced vasopressin, faulty connections between the neurons. There are a lot of pathology. With regards to pathology, their autism is a spectrum. And coming to the homeopathic treatment, it is also a spectrum. Homeopathy offers you wide range of medicines. There are around 5,000 medicines in homeopathy. If you take them in different combinations, it is going up to 50,000 medicines. A homeopathy doctor has 50,000 medicines for his disposal for autism. In this 50,000 medicines, homeopathy doctor will select one or two medicines and give it to your kid. Why we need to have this spectrum of medicine? See, no two autism kids are equal. If I get 10 autism kids, 10 people will have different pathologies, 10 people will have different symptoms, 10 people will have different reasons. In the same way, I need to give 10 different medicines for 10 different autism kids. Homeopathy offers you such variety of medicines so that you can treat with perfection. So you can individualize the kid. The medicines I give to your kid cannot work for other kids. Such individualistic treatment we can do with homeopathy. That's the reason success with homeopathy for autism is high. Coming to consultation, we give two types of consultation. One is online and one is in person. Online, you can have audio call or video call. You can send the videos of your kids. If you have taken any reports locally, you can send it to us. If any other reports are required, we will let you know. You can do them locally and send it back to us. Based on that, we will send you the medicines to your doorsteps. If it is India, it takes 3 working days. If it is US, it takes 4 business days. And if it is any other country than India and US, it will take 5 business days. And in person, if you want to meet us directly, we have multiple branches. Check out your nearest branch and get in touch with us. How to contact us? You can either call us or WhatsApp us on +91 7997101 is the phone number. +91 is the code for India. www.fidics.com, fidicus.com. So what do you get at Fidicus Homeopathy? There are 3 important parameters you get at Fidicus Homeopathy. First one is doctors. Our doctors are passionate, qualified, knowledgeable, well experienced, competent, and compassionate. Coming to the treatment, we give high quality treatment. The medicines which we use are very high quality, best in segment medicines. We get the medicines from top pharmaceutical companies. And coming to the infrastructure, we use latest technology, and we also use artificial intelligence in treating autism kids. So this is the only and first homeopathic clinic which is using artificial intelligence to treat autism kids. And coming to Fidicus Homeopathy, why do you need to take treatment with Fidicus Homeopathy? At Fidicus Homeopathy, you have the highest chance of health, highest success for autism. The transparent treatment will give all the information and you can decide whether to take the treatment or not. Next one is personal care. So autism kids needs personal care. So we use good amount of technology in the back end, but with communication to the patients and communication with you, we prefer as human touch as possible. We prefer personal care with the patient. That's the reason you have to select Fidicus Homeopathy.